Can I just say that your contributions here today are extremely positive and really heartwarming to hear the progress that has been made and the potential to even grow the economy on an all-Ireland basis even more. I think, Michael, you and I would have shared platforms both north and south in days when the like of what we're talking about today could only be a pipe dream. So it's really great to know the significance of the Good Friday Agreement, what it has brought about, and not just in saving lives, which is obviously the most important thing in bringing peace to our island, but the knock-on economic and social benefits for all the people throughout all of this island. And Nikki just said about your campaign, and I welcome that and compliment you on your work. It facilitates a conversation. I think it's a very important conversation that we take stock of what has been achieved. Oftentimes we talk about what has not been achieved. It's very important at times too, when we're reviewing strategies, agreements, government policies, state policies or whatever, that we review what has happened and positive and put that out there as well and show what can be done. Michael, you mentioned about the agri-food industry. You take that, how it has grown so much on an all-Ireland basis. And again, a company in my own, Lakeland Dairies, has put massive investment into the like of OMA. And all over Northern Ireland. And you know, where the raw product travels north, south, south, north, the finished product as well. And again, we would have discussed at this committee, and again on platforms with you, Michael, we would have shared concerns about Brexit when it was being talked about, ever before the decision was made by the British government, in regard to how that could disrupt our method of farming, agri-food, food production, all of that. There's still, all of those issues have not been resolved. We sincerely hope that they will be. But would you have got much evidence from your members that Brexit put a stop or a hold on investment decisions by companies? Say companies, you take my own area, Cavan, Monaghan and our neighbouring counties, Fermanagh, Tyrone, Armagh, we're very heavily dependent on the agri-food sector and construction products and engineering. And again, the first market for any of those companies is Britain. So any disruption in trade between Britain and Ireland would hugely impact on our sector, on the sectors that our local economy is so dependent on. And I know there's still concerns in dairy and in the agri-food sector in regard to how the protocol will work out. We sincerely hope that the level of inspections will be minimised very, very significantly, and that there will in reality be no disruption to trade. But in regard to investment decisions, has the worry of potential investors eased when we sincerely hope that progress is being achieved, and now a British government that seems intent on getting an agreement, along with a European Union that was always committed to getting an agreement? And again, you mentioned the shared island gives a new impetus to research and development. And I think that the project that you talked about, you've been involved with ESRI, I presume that's one of the many shared island initiatives as well, along with NESC, ESRI and some of our universities in studying and analysing policies on an all-Ireland basis, which is absolutely essential and a very positive move forward as well. And again, Mr. Kennedy, who's the new special envoy to Northern Ireland from President Biden, he has spoken about the investment opportunities and he wants to bring that message as well. So again, if you want to make a quick comment on any of the things I have mentioned there, but I think the Shared Island Initiative builds again on the Good Friday success. And again, it's very heartening, and it's very important that the wider public hear the message that we are given here about there are jobs in our communities today that would not be there were it not for the Good Friday Agreement.
Yeah, absolutely, Chair, and that's a recurring theme from so many of the stories that Nikki has been collecting from business leaders. The Shared Ireland work is incredibly important. We've been engaged with a lot of that, but just for clarity, the ESRI study that I mentioned on the macroeconomic model is something that IBEC is actually funding directly. So we are funding that independently of the Shared Island unit. And the reason we're doing that is because we're hearing from our members that for business, this is really, really important. So we're very much collaborating with the work of Shared Island unit, but this is actually an initiative that's been funded by our members directly, because they see that as a significant gap in terms of understanding how the all-island economy functions. And again, just briefly to answer your question on Brexit uncertainty, there's definitely been phases, I suppose, over the last 7 years since the vote, that Brexit uncertainty has had some impact on investment decisions. Right now, I think we're clearly in a position where the most significant concerns and fears have not come to pass. In terms of business, sees the protocol preserving the Good Friday Agreement, delivering certainty in terms of trade across the island, and giving people confidence to invest. And by and large, we would probably say that, you know, those industries that have seen opportunities, they have continued to invest, albeit probably going through various points of maybe greater concern than others over the past 7 years or so. But it's really important going forward in terms of the ultimate outcome of the implementation of the protocol, that certainty and stability is maintained.